All right, we are back with another Pick'em video, and we got playoffs happening. We got playoff baseball starting off today, and we got playoff WNBA. In this video, we're going to be focusing on baseball. I know there's a game starting in about 3 hours or so, or maybe even 2 hours by the time this thing comes out. We're going to be focusing on the later slate of games. I do have a couple picks in that first game that I'm going to very quickly just show on the screen pretty much for anyone that gets there before that. But we're going to focus on the later slate of games. Also, if you guys get this video to 50 likes within the first hour, I'm going to drop a WNBA video that I've already filmed. I just filmed that. So if you guys want that 50 likes, that's all I'm asking for in that first hour. So leave the video a like, subscribe if you are new. We got playoff. This is the best month for sports altogether. We're going to have every sport going on in like a few weeks, which is awesome. And subscribe if you are new, leave the video a like, and then comment something down below would be awesome too. Just tells YouTube to push this thing out. But we got playoff baseball. Don't go too heavy just because, it's playoff baseball. A lot of good pitchers. I know you like to take the batters, but there's a lot of good pitchers on the mound, and we're going to break all that down. So let's get some good plays in there. Starting with that first game, I'm going to show you guys a few plays that I like. And then real quick, want to go over the video picks from yesterday just to be transparent with everyone. We're going to celebrate our wins. We're going to go over our losses for sure, like we always do. But Tony Pollard absolutely crushed his line. Lockett, Geno Smith, all great reads right there. Laporta, I feel like was a pretty solid read. He ended up getting 50 so yards. So he went over his receiving yards line, which we were on the fence. Do we go receiving yards? Do we go fantasy score? I know a couple of people went receiving yards. I landed on fantasy score. He just missed his fantasy score, but solid game, probably his best game of the season so far. And then the only bad read of the day was the Dolphins being any good at football. They need to figure something out. Achane didn't do anything. He, I think he carried the ball like 10 times. Huntley stole one of his touchdowns down the stretch of the game. I don't think it was going to matter anyway. But yeah, just the Dolphins are just bad. And that's what happens in that one. But 3 for 5. We'll take that 60% hit rate any day of the week. If you're hitting at 60% individual hit rate, you're going to be pretty successful. So let's get into the MLB picks. That was for Monday Night Football. All right, so jumping into our first two plays, they're actually going to come over on Underdog just because they have better value over on Underdog right now. All the other plays are going to be on PrizePicks. But if you're not on PrizePicks or Underdog, use my code when signing up. It's a great way to support the channel. But you're also going to get a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up for Underdog using my code. And when you sign up for my code for PrizePicks, you can get $50 just for putting down $5. So it's a pretty sweet deal if you're a new user and you want to tail these slips. Definitely check those out. There's also a bunch of other platforms in the description down below. Some of them are just like, they're all different in their own way, and it's great to be on multiple platforms. It's also a great way to get into my Discord for a free month if you want to try that out. But just read the description down below if you are interested in any of that. Let's actually, start talking about some plays here. So Framber Valdez and Jose Altuve, I'm taking both their overs. I do like Houston in this matchup. Obviously, Tariq Skubal is a great pitcher. They might have, even a pitching advantage here over Valdez. But Detroit's bats are not as good as Houston's bats, especially in the playoffs. I definitely trust the Astros more than I do the Tigers. Now, let's jump into why I like them specifically. Going into their outlier page, a tool and a partner of the channel. If you want to check these guys out, you get a free week, also a free week in my Discord. So definitely check them out. You can see Framber Valdez, a decent amount of green for the Tigers in the history of batting against him. But we can see head-to-head here and going against his fantasy score. He's gone over in the last 3 matchups against him one time this season, and he actually struggled to strike guys out in that game, and then 2 times in the past seasons. So I do like to see that. He's got a pretty good history, even though the guys have pitched pretty well against him. And then 2024 as a whole, he's been crushing this line, especially as of late. If you want to look at the last 10 games, 80% of games he's gone over this. And then going into Altuve, just because I don't want to spend too much time in this game, just because I know a lot of people won't be able to get it. Altuve, 11 at-bats against Skubal, 364 batting average. He has a home run and an RBI, and his OPS is 128, which is awesome. A little bit, of a K percentage. That's just because it's Skubal. He's a good pitcher. But you see a lot of green here as well. A lot of guys up over, 333s for, a few of these guys up here. Pena's at 429 with the home run. Alvarez has struggled. Tucker's struggled. Dubon's struggled. But, some of these guys are being able to hit the ball. If Altuve is able to get on base, someone bats him in, that's a decent amount of fantasy points right off the bat. Obviously, if he hits a double or a triple or a home run or something crazy, that's pretty good for us as well. But I do like the Valdez advantage here just because I like the bats he's going against. If I can show you the hits right here, you can see the 27th ranked for Detroit the last 30 days against left-handed pitching. So they just don't pitch. They don't hit very well against him. So I like Valdez in this matchup, and I'm taking Altuve to kind of combo it. Nice little stack there. So that's our first 2 plays. And again, early slate of games. If you missed that one, plenty more plays to come. All right, so moving into the next game on the slate, I'm going to Kansas City, going to one of their batters and taking the under on a guy that I've taken the under on throughout the season a decent amount of times, and it's going to be MJ Melendez under total bases at 0.5. Now, my last 5 Warriors are going to love this line because he hasn't hit it in the last 5 games. That's not how I make my plays, but I know a lot of people do. It's not a smart way to make plays, but for those who do, this one's looking pretty good for you. Now let's actually dive into some stats and see why I like it. Obviously, the hit rate does play into why I do like it. It's a nice 52% hit rate on the under for the entire year. If you look at the last 20 games, it's a 65% hit rate, which just makes me think that, he's just a guy that's been kind of in a slump here, and now he gets a really tough pitcher matchup with Corbin Burnes on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles. Now let's go look at Corbin Burnes' numbers. You can see, by the way, Melendez does get a tiny bit of a boost in his batting average when he goes up against right-handed pitching, but that's pretty offset by Corbin Burnes getting even better against left-handed batters. 2.92 ERA drops to 2.51, batting average drops to 2.16, slugging, everything is down. Extra base hits, everything is down for Corbin Burnes, just meaning he pitches a lot better against left-handed batters. And you take a look at his normal numbers, 2.92, 1.1 whip. That's just elite numbers altogether. So I do like to see that. MJ Melendez is struggling. Now we're entering the playoffs. He's going to have to go up against the best pitching that the Baltimore Orioles can throw at them. And I do like to see that he's also 1 for 7 specifically against Corbin Burnes in their past few matchups. So a lot of things pointing in the right direction here. In terms of hit rate matchups and things like that. Also going into some market value here. This is a tool called Odds Jam. It helps me see all the different data points and market values that are being put out there right now. So DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, where do these guys have their lines? And you can see an average sportsbook odds of, you see it's actually at 0.7 because it looks like FanDuel's up at 1.5, but it's a plus 280, so you got to throw that out the window. That's skewing it a little bit, but just taking a look at the odds. A lot of these books are favoring the under, higher numbers or lower numbers, minus 125 on the under here, minus 124 on Pinnacle, minus 120, minus 125, whereas the over is being a little, less favorable. So the books are on my side in this one as well. The matchup looks great. The hit rate's been very solid. Again, last 5 Warriors are going to be happy with this one. And unders on batters throughout the playoffs, especially the first game of a playoff series when you really have to face the best pitching. I think it's going to be a good route. But don't go too crazy. Again, playoff baseball is very volatile and can change a lot. But I'm liking this one for our first play of the day on PrizePicks. And then our next play is going to be Starling Marte under his 0.5 singles line. Now, as you can see, it's not available on PrizePicks anymore. It was about an hour ago. But when you attack good value, when you attack good lines, things are going to get changed. Things are going to get taken off, and that's exactly what happened here. Now, I want to point out this is a great teaching point. Now, it's not available on PrizePicks. That's going to happen to a lot of the plays that I send out on these videos. Sometimes they're going to get bumped and taken off. But Betr, you can still see that has this line at 0.5. Minus 135.6 average sportsbook odds, you're getting a huge mathematical advantage, and yet Betr still has it up. Sometimes they have minus 140, minus 145 lines that are just chilling over here. They're not able to move lines as quickly as PrizePicks or Underdog, and when you know what to look for, you can definitely take advantage of that, and we do that all the time over in the Discord. So if you're not on Betr, definitely check it out. We attack value over there. Sometimes I'm just strictly looking at the odds, which is a great mathematical advantage when you're trying to be as profitable sports bettor in the long term. And it's an awesome app. It's very similar to these two. So if you like PrizePicks, or if you like Underdog, or if you like both of them, it's very similar to that. So if you're not on it, check out Betr. Use code RichPicks. You're going to get a free deposit match of $200. So definitely mess around with some house money when you're starting off. And again, you can get it to my Discord for a free month. So check out Betr. Great teaching point. Sorry, it's not on PrizePicks. If it comes back up, definitely take it. But if some of these lines get bumped, or particularly you want to play this one, go over to Betr and play it over there. All right, so moving back to PrizePicks now, still 2 plays, and the first one we're going to talk about is a combo pitchers strikeout line. I don't do that too often, but I think these pitchers can have a little bit more of a longer leash to stay out there, and I'm really liking the matchup for both these guys, Severino and Peralta. Peralta being the guy that is very much a very good strikeout pitcher, but Severino's been doing his thing, especially as of late. So let's take a look at Severino. First of all, his hit rate, 61% of games he's going over this 4.5 strikeout line where he's at. It's favored on the over a lot, so it's more like a 5.0 strikeout line. But yeah, the last 10 games or so, he's been been between 5 and 9 strikeouts. That's all I'm really asking for. If he gets 5, that's awesome. You can see his strikeouts per 9, 7.96, actually a 10.8 versus Milwaukee. He's faced them once this year and once last year. We're going to look at those numbers in a second. But the number I really want to look at is the K percentage for Milwaukee the last 30 days, 24th ranked, and for the entire season, 20th ranked against right-handed pitching. So this is definitely a team that bats into some strikeouts a decent amount, and you can see that based on the numbers and just based on Severino pitching against these guys over the past few years. A lot of these K rates for a few of these guys in the red: 40, 33, 40, 33, 50% K rates. So definitely some strikeouts to be had. Again, I'd be happy with 5 from this guy. You can see the head-to-head the past few games. 6, this was this year, way back in March, and then last year he had 5. So 5 to 6 would be great from Severino. Not looking for him to get 10, but if he does, obviously that is an awesome little boost. And last thing I want to point out here is that away stats actually go up. He's a little bit of a better K pitcher, strikeout pitcher on road games, 5.53 average as opposed to a 5.19. So a lot of good things looking in the right direction here for Severino. And then going into some of Peralta's numbers here, you can see he is the better strikeout pitcher, 10.36 in terms of the whole season, 12.0 against the Mets in general. So really, really liking to see that. Started the year off striking everybody out. It has been in a little bit of a lull, but I do like to see the last 2 games he's been breaking out of that with 9 Ks and 7 Ks. Now let's look at the K percentage for the Mets, 20th for the 20th for the past 30 days against right-handed pitching, 16th for the whole season, so bottom half of the whole the league in terms of right-handed pitching strikeout percentage. And we can pull out the head-to-head right away, 8 Ks back in March, and again, faced him last year and was able to get 7 Ks. So decent amount of good history. If they did as well as they did this year, that'd be 8 and 6, that'd be 14, much over that 11.0 strikeout combo line. And then we can also look at the individual batters against Peralta. Not only do they strike out a decent amount, 100%, 20, 33, 36, 33, but they also just don't hit very well against him. You can see a lot of red in terms of the batting average against Peralta for the Mets for the history that they've played. Not a ton of history. Some of these guys with 18, 12 at-bats, but still good to see that they've struggled a little bit against him. That just means he might be in the game a little bit longer for some more opportunities. Last thing I want to point out over on DG Fantasy points out market value, kind of like Odds Jam, but this is integrated with whatever one you want to be looking at. You can look at all sports, doesn't matter to be a specific sport. You can just see, hey, what are the best lines on PrizePicks? I looked up Peralta, so you're going to see all Peralta's lines. But you see the pitcher combo, they're saying, hey, it's a 52.18% chance to hit. Why is that? The odds are looking weird here just because I don't understand how they do the combo odds, but it's good to see that they are pointing towards the right direction. Peralta's normal line at the over on 6.0. So if we get 7 from Peralta and we get 5 from Severino, that'd be awesome. That's all we need. But you can see both these guys really, really looking good in terms of their individual strikeouts, if you want to look at it that way. But I'm going to be playing them together in the little combo. And then moving into our last play of the video, it's going to be an under on an Atlanta batter. I wanted to get one in there just because I really like Michael King's matchup. And I know the Braves have been pretty good offensively lately, but I'm going to take the under on his hits, runs, and RBIs for Ozzie Albies to kind of close out this PrizePicks video. We talked about a lot of different plays, but let's wrap it up with Ozzie Albies under. Now, one of the main things here is obviously the matchup against Michael King. You can see that not a ton of numbers to go off of, but a lot of these batters have not even got a hit against Michael King, and that includes almost everyone getting at least one at-bat. So that was something I wanted to look at. Obviously, Michael King is one of the best pitchers in the league, 1.18 whip, 2.95 ERA. He's been really good, and as long as he's on the mound this game, I think they're going to struggle a little bit. Now, the Braves have had a pretty decent offense as of late. But you can see Ozzie Albies takes a little bit of a hit against right-handed pitching. That's just going to play into King's hand. The ERA does bump up a little bit, but that's kind of offset by the batting average going down against right-handed batters. So King against right-handed batters, pretty much the same. Albies against right-handed pitching does get a decent amount of a drop from 251 normal batting average to 225. Then we can take a look at his hit rate. So this is the under at 46% of games so far this year. He is the 2 batter, so he's probably going to get 4 or maybe 5 at-bats sometimes. But going up against righties, 54% hit rate on the under, so that is good to see. And then righties away, 67% hit rate. So sometimes when you got a lot of this data to look at, it's good to see that, hey, they're away. Maybe they don't play as well on the road, which I don't think they do. and he's facing a right-handed pitching, which he doesn't do as well against as left-handed pitching. So 67% hit rate when you really dig into this one. It's looking a lot better. Now, one of the main other reasons I want to go to this is very heavily favored on the under in terms of sportsbooks. A lot of lines at -130 on the under as opposed to plus money or -105 on the over. -128.5 is going to be the average consensus odds there. So I'm liking Aussie Albies. I'm going to go ride with Michael King here. I'd probably take the Padres in this game. I think they are the favorites, but the Braves have looked pretty good in terms of their bats. But the pitching advantage here is going to be ridiculous. I don't even know if Atlanta's. They haven't even put out a pitcher yet because Sale can't go. But whoever it's going to be a very, very big pitching advantage for Michael King and the Padres here. So that's going to close it out. Aussie Albies under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Again, we talked about the 3 available on PrizePicks. We, in the Discord, attacked a 4th one on PrizePicks, but that Marte line got taken off the board. It's still available over on Betr, and we also talked about 2 plays we took on Underdog. So definitely check out the links in the description. Sign up for all the new apps. Take advantage of the money they're giving out when you sign up for a new code. Also take advantage of the promotion I'm running. When you use my code, you get a free month of my Discord. If you use 3 codes, you're going to get 3 free months in my Discord. It's a fun time in there. We don't win every single day, but we win in the long run. I've shown I'm very transparent with the numbers I show. In terms of my Pickett account, we're up like 34 units in the month of September, so we've had a great month, and I'm going to try to continue that into October. So it's October 1st now. Remember to leave this video a like, because if it gets to 50 likes, I'm going to release that WNBA video, and I think I got pretty good reads for the 2 games tonight. And if you're new, subscribe, leave a comment, all those good things. Hopefully see you guys in a little bit when I post that next video, but if not, I'll see you tomorrow for some more playoff baseball.